check on your fellow musicians because we are not okay. Hi everyone, my name is Joy, and today like you can see by the title, I'm talking about the negatives of making music online. In my last video, I really talked about my experience in college and things I wish I had known for college, but one of the things that I can't advise on is for current students who are going through a semester online, how to help them. I started this conversation on Twitter and Instagram a couple days ago, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So before we get started into this video, please leave a comment down below or hop over onto Twitter and leave your thoughts in that thread over there. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the noise in the background because my neighbors are noisy, so yay. As a whole, and as a whole world, we are all being impacted by COVID-19 in different ways. We are all struggling with something, whether it's money, whether it's mental health, whether it's trying to just enjoy life in this and adapt to this different way. There are lots of different things that everyone is struggling with. And for musicians in general, a lot of musicians have had to deal with a lot of their gigs being gone and just a disconnect from live performances and really learning to work with online music and what that means. So I want to kind of talk about really past the paycheck, what that means for your musicians. Music in general is largely to do with connection. And when you're not in a live setting, it's really hard to connect with others. And of course, we can do this online, but a comment or a like is way different than a smile on someone's face or a reaction or applause even. It's just very different, and it's really hard to engage with. In performing, performing is not just about you as a performer, it's about your connection with the audience. If you're performing in a group, it's about your connection with your fellow performers. When you lose that ability to connect with your audience right then and there, music loses some of its joy and benefit for some people. And when you're with your fellow performers, there's this space of collaboration, especially when you're improvising and when you're just jamming. That jam culture is really hard to replicate online, especially with the lag. You really can't listen to your other performers, and when you're listening to other performers, it changes the way you music, and it changes the way you present yourself, present your material. It just is different. So when you're doing it online and you're doing it on your own without feedback, it can be very difficult. And so we have this loss of collaboration now. And live collaboration, we try to replicate it online, but it's just different. For instance, especially me being a composer, you would think, hey, COVID-19 is not really going to affect me very much because all my work is here by myself, solitude, right? But really, composition does not exist solely on a page or solely in this vacuum where me just isolated as a composer. That's not where it ends. Composition starts when it's performed. It starts when someone is experiencing it. So for me as a composer, not getting to hear someone play my music live in a person and adapt to that can be really frustrating. And so we have to figure out how we can do this and navigate this online space. And it can, for a lot of musicians, it can really deteriorate their mental health because they're losing the purpose for their music. They're losing all of the motivation. So even with me, for instance, I am here, and I was talking about this with someone the other day. I am here, all of my music making. Fortunately, I get to go to school at some points, a couple days a week. So I get to go in and be in a space, but we're barely music making right now. So a lot of what I do right now is, this is my desk here, my keyboard is over there, and this right here, this section of my room, this forward, is my workspace. And I have to separate that from this which is my relaxing space, and they cannot commingle because it's really hard to make sure that you are having that healthy separation between the two. And some of us, and I mean a lot of us, are feeling this way with this loss of productivity in general. And I'm really summarizing a lot of the discussion that I've had on this recently. But just feeling like we have to, now that we're completely alone and that we have all this quote unquote free time, that we have to create and we have to do everything. We have to practice and we have to make sure that we use this time to better ourselves, which is true. There's something we should do, but then if we end up not doing it or not doing it to our own satisfaction, we feel unproductive and we feel guilty because it feels like you're not fulfilling what you're supposed to do. And there's like this level of what are you supposed to do, especially in this time, this really unprecedented time. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? And even though I'm not music making in the same way, I'm somehow supposed to be okay with that. I'm supposed to be able to motivate myself to do it because it feels like it loses its meaning. And on top of that, when you're not performing, a lot of people deal with, and a lot of us performers, we deal with performance anxiety in some form, whether it's pre, whether it's during, whether it's post. We deal with that, and a way to get over that is to keep performing. And so when you can't perform live in front of anybody, you have to find ways to battle it in a different way. And it is still a big challenge. So that's something that is just really a lot of people and a lot of musicians feel. And I'm speaking in general just for some of the things that have been expressed to me, because some people are doing great and some people are being able to assimilate to this new online culture of music, but some people are struggling because you got to learn these new things and you have to learn how to record yourself and you have to learn how to do it very quickly. And this is a whole degree. I mean, I minored in technology, thank God, but that's a whole lot of work that people spend a long time doing. And so to say that you have to learn it so quickly and you have to assimilate so quickly can be frustrating for some people who that's not what they're trying to do. It just doesn't fit. And it can be beneficial as well, but it can be really stressful. And especially when you have to record now, you have to deal with the recorded law, which is that everything has to be perfect. And so now you're striving for this perfection that doesn't exist. And it really is about a bunch of different takes and comp together. It's not about one perfect take, and some people can pull it off in one perfect take, but it's just not the same. So striving for this perfection that you would never strive, even you strive to be perfect in live performance, and music is all about trying not to make that wrong note. But it's different when you're online, and it has to do more with trying to get it the best version, which even if it's good and it's good enough to present to an audience, you might not feel that it's your best. And so you'll keep doing takes until you feel like it's good, and that could be never. And sometimes you just have to move on. So I say this, I want to just say this, like, obviously everybody's going through COVID differently and everybody's experiencing it differently, but you know, this is a time where we need to support each other and we need to really have these conversations with each other, like how can we help? How can we help each other assimilate to this new thing? In summary, like I said in the beginning, check on your music friends, check on your fellow musicians. It's really important. Now, I definitely wouldn't do this video on the negatives without later doing a positive video because I'm all about seeing both sides. So next week I'm going to talk about the positives and some things that we can learn from this time. So check that out next Sunday. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you've seen a couple of my videos. I've done a couple now, so go check those out. And for real, I really want to keep having this discussion. So comment down below and let's just start talking, or you could just engage in the discussion on Twitter. And let's talk about this and let's help each other. Remember, I post every Sunday, so I will see you guys next Sunday. All right, peace.